I'm sorry, Lesean, but you're acting like one bitter little bitch ever since you've left Philadelphia. And this is coming from someone who considered you to be their favorite player on this Eagles football team. I still got your jersey, and I hope to rock it one day the way Eagles fans rock a Dawkins jersey, a Randall jersey, anything, something like that. Even McNabb jerseys, you still see them showing up in crowds. But I'll tell you what, you're making it damn hard for me to consider ever again putting that shirt on this body. This all kind of started back when Chip Kelly first dealt Lesean McCoy to the Bills, and Lesean McCoy then put out a statement thanking a number of people, thanking Andy Reid, thanking former coaches, players, etc., etc. And there was one person that seemed to be very, very, very obviously omitted, and that is the name of Chip Kelly. Didn't thank him at all. And I was like, boy, that's kind of a bitter move, and that's something you're not going to overlook accidentally. Because when I told you, one of the things I told you when Chip Kelly became coach here, that video is still up, I said, you are going to see Lesean McCoy get utilized the way he should, because he was held back and not used properly in the Andy Reid regime. What happened that first year Chip Kelly was here? Rushing title, beasting on the field, taking over. Gave him the ball, something that Andy Reid wouldn't do. Give him enough touches. He obviously gave him the ball. But Chip Kelly stuck with him. Won a rushing title. Was one of the key pieces that got you through into the playoffs. It was an 1,800-yard season. Or whatever the number was. Point being, the guy was dominant. He was one of the head-turning players in the league. And Chip Kelly was one of the main reasons why, and his game plan was one of the main reasons why he had that much success here. This past year, offensive line gets banged up. Shady's not picking up yardage the way he used to. He's doing a lot of dancing. He's not really getting that first down when he should, getting that extra yard, getting a yard or two for loss more than usual. So, Chip Kelly, on his own prerogative, which wasn't really a surprise move to me, traded him. Traded him to Buffalo for Kiko Alonso and freeing up cap space. At the time, I was bummed out, but at the same time, I wasn't surprised that it happened. So I figured, just that not mentioning Chip Kelly when he was on his way out of town was where the bitterness was going to end. But apparently there's a fuck ton more, because he did an interview with ESPN the magazine, and let me read you what he said here. The relationship was never really great. He's talking about Chip Kelly. The relationship was never really great. I feel like I always respected him as a coach. I think that's the way he runs his team. He wants the full control. You see how fast he got rid of all the good players, especially all the good black players. He got rid of them the fastest. That's the truth. There's a reason. It's hard to explain with him, but there's a reason he got rid of all the good black players. The good ones, like that. People have heard it. I mean, Stephen A. Smith has talked about it. Other players have talked about it. But that's one of the things where you don't even care no more. I mean, I'm on a new team, ready to play. So it's nothing to do with Chip. Okay. So it's nothing to do with Chip. I have no hatred toward him. Nothing to say negative about him. What did you just say 5 seconds ago? Nothing to say negative about him. When he got to Philadelphia, I didn't know what to expect. When he let Deshaun go last year, I was like, come on, Deshaun? So it is what it is. Anyway, I'll leave a link in the video description if you want to see a full article about that. This whole thing about Chip Kelly and saying how he let the black players go the fastest, all the good black players. Are you serious? You're inferring that Chip Kelly made his decisions because he's some racist pig? That he doesn't like black players on his team? Or what are you getting at? Because when you say something like this, and the guy that did this interview did a terrible job, because you got to follow up right away. Because when you throw down a card like that, when Lesean says, yeah, he gets rid of all the black players the fastest, all the good ones, I mean, duh, he got rid of me and Deshaun. I do believe Jason Peters, a future Hall of Famer, is still on this team. One of the biggest key pieces in why you got as many yards as you did and why you're the leading rusher in this franchise history. Because he was there for every snap, aside from when he was injured. He was there for every snap that you ran behind the field on him. He's one of the best run blockers this league has ever seen. But all the good black players were gone the fastest? I mean, the thing about this is this ESPN guy should have said, well, what about Jason Peters? What about D'Amico Ryans? What about when Chip Kelly first came on here and they had an option to cut Michael Vick loose with no ties, no cap hit or anything like that, but they optioned to keep him here for an extra year? Could have said, Michael Vick, bye-bye. You're hurt all the time. You're turning over the ball. Bye-bye. No, he kept him here. Last I checked, Michael Vick is black too. It's like there's a mountain of evidence that contradicts what Shady says that should have been questioned immediately and saying, that is the most ridiculous thing I've heard, Lesean. How can you say that when this, and this have happened? Oh, but he kept Riley Cooper here. I agree. Riley Cooper should have got cut for what he did. I have a video up saying that right after it happened, so I'm not just saying this right now to be circumstantially fitting. But if that's one instance that you're going to lead on, and you know what? Maybe he was pissed that Riley Cooper was left on this team. If he is, why not say it? Why not say it? Why not say that's one of your main reasons why you're so bitter right now? Because frankly, what's looking like, and don't get me wrong, Shady, I never got for 1 second that Shady didn't love to play here. Love this city, love his fans, and love the state of Pennsylvania. He grew up in Harrisburg, played for Pitt, and got to live his dream and play for his favorite team as a youth, a teenager, etc., in the Philadelphia Eagles. So basically when he got traded away, he's being a bitter little bitch because frankly he didn't want to go to Buffalo. He didn't want to leave Philly. Well, BOOHOO, that's the job you signed up for. Your job can move your ass across the state line or move yourself to a different part of the state if there's 2 teams in that state. Just like that. He's being so bitter about this that he's got to drop the racist card. The racist, I can't put my finger on it, but all the black players, all the good black players, what does that say to the rest of the black players on this team? Again, like a Jason Peters, like a D'Amico Ryans, I would love to hear what Jason Peters has to say about this, considering all the good black players were let go from this team. Oh, I would love to hear him say, but you know what? Jason Peters actually has class, and he's not going to throw someone like Shady McCoy under the bus on this. And I even debated making a video about this because, like I said, he was my favorite player on this team, man. It breaks my heart to see this shit happen. But you know what? I call him as I see him. And just because I like this guy and I have a special fondness in my heart for the level of play he had and the way how he got this city. He got this city and he got these fans when he was here. Not so much now, but when he was here, talking trash about Dallas. Week 17 game 2 seasons ago. And he's talking about how hungry he is to go into Dallas and win. And give people a late Christmas present in Philadelphia and beat the Cowboys and knock them out of the playoffs. Oh my God, shit like that warms my heart. And then he's gonna do this shit? And it's not saying, oh, I know for sure Chip Kelly's not a racist because I know him personally and all that. He may end up being a racist. But you know what? There has to be proof in the pudding for you to just say something like that, to drop that card for the fuck of it. There has to be something that you can overtly point to and say he's racist because, frankly, you know, he talked down to a lot of the black players in the locker room and spoke positively to the white players' locker room. I don't know anything beyond just he cut Deshaun and he cut me. We're the 2 best black players on this team, man. That's messed up. He's a racist motherfucker. Fuck that shit, man. And like many people have said about this, pulling out the racism card like this and this getting a national media spotlight now cheapens actual racism, real acts of racial hatred and bigotry across the nation. Because something like this is going to get scrutinized. It's like, Chip Kelly and the Eagles, they're coached by a racist now, because they're just hearing stuff like that. The general consensus is just going to be, you got to keep an eye on that guy because their coach, he's a racist. I heard that somewhere. It was all over the media. And the thing is, Chip Kelly is in an indefensible spot. Because, I mean, what do you do to deny this? You bring up black friends on stage with you, bring out your coaches, and I know people, I heard some people on Twitter saying, well, Chip Kelly does have an awful lot of white coaches. His defensive coordinator is white, his offensive coordinator is white, this assistant coach is white, that assistant coach is white. Guess what? You could go damn near any team in the league and find any of many teams that have a white DC, a white OC, a white assistant coach, and this and that and that. But they don't point out things like, Deuce Staley, the running back coach, is black and also was a member of the coaching staff during Andy Reid's regime here. So not only did Chip Kelly have a black coach on his assistant coaching staff, but he kept someone from the previous regime. Usually when a new coach takes over, they wipe all those guys out there and bring in all of their own. Chip Kelly was magnanimous enough to let one of Andy Reid's guys stay. This just pisses me off again, because racism and bigotry, and especially in this day and age with all the stuff that is going on and the rioting and all that stuff, for just this to get a racial spotlight of the spotlight of racial attention is being shown on Philadelphia and Chip Kelly because 2 black players got cut. 2. They got cut the fastest, the best black players. And just to have this stuff come out of his mouth. Like, I know he's going to backtrack and say, I didn't mean it like that. I meant it like this. I was misquoted or whatever, even though this is taken verbatim from what he said. This just pisses me off. This really pisses me off. Because I hate racism and all that shit. And to see the racism card thrown down on something that is so minimally possible for being an actual act of racism, and that this is getting, again, that spotlight of racial attention to it, it just blows my mind. And it's all because this guy has a stick up his ass for the fact that the coach just didn't want him here for any number of reasons. Maybe he had a piss-ass attitude like Deshaun did, and that was enough to get you bounced out of this team. You got let go. Get over it, Shady. You got let go. Chip Kelly didn't want you here anymore. So sad, too bad, bye-bye. Unbelievable, man. It's such bitterness. Jesus Christ. In other news, Tom Brady was found guilty of knowing that his footballs were deflated. Oh boy, that week 1 game against the Steelers, and he's probably gonna be suspended. That's enough about that. I just want to enjoy football, and I don't want to have to sit here the whole preseason and be like, Chip Kelly cut another black guy. See, he is racist. Black guys get cut in the league. White guys get cut in the league. Doesn't matter if they're good, bad, Mexican, Chinese. There's not too many Chinese football players, but anyways. Unbelievable. It's laughable. It's laughable that this is getting so much attention because this guy opened his mouth, his bitter mouth. Lesean, just shut your bitter ass up and play football for the Bills. Didn't Richie Incognito get picked up by the Bills? I thought I heard that. Isn't that right? Didn't he drop like N-bombs to people constantly about players on the Miami Dolphins? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. No, can't be. Sean can't call out someone on his own team. That's ridiculous. Anyways, have a good day, everyone.